This is NAB Show Live.
Hello and welcome back to NAB Show Live, brought to you by Broadcast Beat. We're talking LinkedIn Live right now. In just a moment, I'm Tess Protesta.
I'm Paul Richards from PTZ Optics, and I'm so excited about LinkedIn Live. Recently announced Microsoft and LinkedIn working together, the final social media giant, bringing live streaming to their platform. And we want to answer some of the big questions that I know a lot of us have had. One of the things about social media and live streaming is getting there first and getting on that platform. There's a lot to be said about getting in front of people and what you can do with social media. So we have a lot of questions. Tess has put together this great panel. We have a representative from LinkedIn.
Yes, we do. We have Jessica with LinkedIn. We have Dan Rayburn, Streaming Media Chairman at the Streaming Media Summit here. We also have David of Social Live here to discuss some of the very important aspects that are going into LinkedIn Live, as it's recently been released to some early innovators and developers as well. I'd love to start with you, Dan.
Okay.
So we know that you're a streaming media expert and you might have a lot of input on exactly how something like LinkedIn Live could be used. Do you have any opinion on, where you see this headed?
Well, as a conference organizer, the biggest thing I want is an audience. I want to be able to reach an audience. So you have a lot of social platforms out there. Obviously you have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have LinkedIn, but when you're talking B2B, you're really looking at LinkedIn. That's the platform that we use the most to promote the NAB Streaming Summit. That's where we see the best type of targeted attendee, because we can actually have a conversation on LinkedIn about what speakers are going to talk about. We can link to the speakers. We can have people sending questions beforehand. So naturally what I've been waiting on is for video to come. Being able to do video live in there allows us to promote the show, potentially webcast it during the event as well, but also the additional tools that LinkedIn is working on specific to conference organizers. To me, that's a really big thing that I want from an application standpoint.
Yeah. And Jessica, you're with LinkedIn Live, so you might be a great person to tell us what type of users is LinkedIn Live looking for with this platform?
Yeah, so with the introduction of LinkedIn Live, we're really excited about introducing LinkedIn Live to a combination of pages and people, so members. Really being able to enable an authentic voice and enable these pages and people to build an audience and really connect real time with their audience and have real time conversations with their with this audience.
Absolutely.
So one of the questions I wanted to ask the panel, and I'll throw this out to anyone who wants to ask, is what type of content is really going to thrive on LinkedIn? It is a business social media platform, if you will, so it's not something that you maybe the personal selfie stream, probably something a little bit more professional. What do you predict working on LinkedIn Live? Maybe we can throw this one to David.
Yeah, so over the last few years as social live videos really evolved, I think what you're finding is what really works broadly is authentic video content, and I think for LinkedIn, there's going to be an opportunity to really build community and really create networks around content. So I think the type of content isn't just going to be event-driven. I actually think we're going to see a lot of organizations as well as publishers and individuals start creating recurring content, really using it as a platform for building broader community. That's where I think we'll see this really take off.
Yeah, and Jessica,
I think if I can add, from a LinkedIn perspective, I think actually both of you had very good points, but I think from a LinkedIn perspective, we're really thinking about two types of content that we think will do particularly well, and those are interactive and timely contents. So interactive content is anything where a member or a page can interact with their audience. That can be anything from like an Ask Me Anything, a financial advisor wanting to provide some sort of financial advice, even seeing teachers wanting to do interactive teaching lessons with their students on the LinkedIn platform. And then for timely, those are things like you mentioned, events, and also having like breaking news on the platform as well.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me to my next question. Is this going to be segregated to individuals or businesses, or is this going to be distributed? I mean, who are you hoping for? Both businesses marketing their products and individuals to promote themselves?
We're really empowering both pages as well as people to
Right.
create the broadcast. Really anything that's going to have an authentic voice where they can use LinkedIn as a platform to build their community.
Yeah, and Dan, do you think that the business is going to thrive more with this, or the individual entrepreneur or business
Well,
person?
personally, I hope LinkedIn keeps it limited. I hope they don't open it up to everybody.
Interesting.
We don't need another YouTube platform. We don't need another person who is on LinkedIn selling a product that they really shouldn't be pitching, because it's not supposed to be a platform to pitch your product every day. I'm hoping you keep it limited to just professionals, truly professionals and businesses, so it stays a B2B platform. And I think if you're talking interactive and you're talking live, that's going to mean a lot of people aren't going to use the platform because they're not actually creating content for live or interactive content, which I think is good. That means the content on LinkedIn is actually going to be something we find valuable. And unlike YouTube and other platforms, you're not going to have to search through all this content to actually find something that's worthwhile. So I hope it stays as B2B as possible in terms of keeping it restricted to people who are actually conducting business, as opposed to someone who just feels like broadcasting live for the hell of it.
We are being pretty restrictive on how many people that we're enabling for LinkedIn Live. We're in an early pilot right now where we are hand selecting our creators, and so
That's good.
it will remain to a unique set of folks right now.
Yeah, I think LinkedIn has a great opportunity to become almost like a premium content delivery network where people really respect the platform and its business community. I really believe that people feel that way today. You know, you don't want to post something that you post on Facebook to LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
Because you're in that professional network. So I wanted to ask you about the other companies that you might be working with to develop APIs and help enable businesses to create a professional video production. Maybe David, you could take this one because I know you're a developer. Those partnerships that LinkedIn forges with other production companies, I think, are going to be key to enable businesses to create a higher quality production.
Yeah, so Social Live is a platform that's essentially an easy to use, scalable creation platform for video. Most of our customers are actually enterprise customers who have been really excited about LinkedIn Live and being able to kind of build community, thought leadership community around their executives, around big kind of company tentpole events, essentially showcasing the business behind the business, I think. And so we think that's a really, really exciting opportunity. LinkedIn has been fantastic to work with as an early kind of platform to integrate with. It's been really like a hands-on partnership, which is not something you necessarily see all the time from Fortune 500 level enterprise organizations like LinkedIn and Microsoft. So it's been really easy to work with as a platform that integrates.
Yeah. Jessica, I'm wondering if you can give us any foresight into other developers that are looking to get involved with LinkedIn, because I'm sure some of the audience members might be wondering how they can get their foot in the door there.
So we're currently partnered with a limited set of broadcast tools, Social Live being one of them. We're also partnered with Wirecast, Wowza Media Systems, as well as Switcher Studio. And so we have a couple more upcoming developer partners to come. And if anybody is interested in either streaming as a live streamer or becoming a developer partner, we will be actually releasing more information as well as an application form via our help center on the LinkedIn site.
Paul, write that down.
Write that one down. So I'm really excited to understand a little bit more about the future of LinkedIn Live. One of the things that when I use LinkedIn, I really care about my connections. It's kind of like a friend on Facebook, but it's definitely a more business-related connection. And I know different people have different opinions about their connections, you know, whether you don't want to be connected to a competitor because you don't want to extend that connection to a second and third degree. So I'm interested to know, when you publish a live stream, is this going to go just to your connections? Is there ability to go public? Do you know anything about how your connection database works with when you hit that publish button and you go live?
So once a broadcaster publishes a live to LinkedIn through one of the third-party tools, it does reach their connections. Beyond that, any interactions that's happening with the stream as well helps the content go viral as well. So if you and I are connected, Dan, and you see the stream that I have interacted with, it will show up in your feed as well.
Dan, we're talking about the future of LinkedIn Live, and I know that you are sort of an expert in the streaming industry. I'd love to hear what you think about this platform and you know, the future that it does hold.
Look, I think LinkedIn has their work cut out for them in the sense of we all have a lot of different places we can go and get content. Everybody's competing for our eyeballs, right? We're all consumers, we have a lot of choice, even on the business side. I don't think the hard part for LinkedIn will be integrating into the workflow. You're already with some of the best folks out there in terms of being able to look at the video stack and help you ingest, transcode, and deliver that video. The real question comes down the line of the UI. There's already so much content on LinkedIn. How are you actually going to be able to see this? After it's live, will there be an archive? How quickly can you archive it? I think the main thing is really going to be what does it look like for the actual end user? Because that's the hard part, because LinkedIn already has so much information. And for me, the key thing is I want to make it bespoke and I want to make it custom. So it's super, super important that I can decide where it goes, when it goes, how it's archived, how I promote it afterwards, because LinkedIn is obviously great for promoting B2B. So I think the technology is not the issue. I think LinkedIn has that down as far as being able to scale the platform, but really, end result, what does that look like for the customer? And being it's new and it hasn't even come out yet, I think that's going to take some time. But to me, I want to know what that's going to look like and how I control it.
I think if I can add to that, I think one of the best advantages of LinkedIn Live is also the ability for our members and creators to really build their community with one another. And so coming into LinkedIn, they can, if for example, I'm a data scientist and I want to go live and talk about a very specific topic around data science, I can actually build a very niche community and have an interaction with those specific types of members on the LinkedIn platform. And that's really one of the key advantages and I think one of the most exciting things about LinkedIn Live.
Yeah, we can certainly speak to wanting to build a community, even for a company, beyond just somebody building a brand for themselves. And I'm really excited about that with LinkedIn Live, being able to build a professional community. And I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, one of the things that I was thinking about with LinkedIn is the connections, right? So you have first degree connections, second degree connections, third degree connections, and when you go live, your connections are notified, right? One of my questions was about the second and the third degree connections, because that's where we have the opportunity as an entrepreneur, as a business, to increase and expand our connections. So one of the things that's great about LinkedIn is you can see this person's a second degree connection and this is how I'm connected to them. And I think the transparency there is amazing. So the business opportunity when you are live and there's a live audience watching, are you going to be able to see, oh, hi, Bob, you're a second degree connection for me. We both know this person from working at this business.
Cool.
And from a live audience engagement perspective, you kind of already have a connection to a person through the LinkedIn platform, and you can kind of follow that through a business professional way. Can you explain to us, obviously we mentioned that the connections are all going to be notified when you go live. How are the second and third connections going to be notified? It's through some type of engagement of some sort?
Yeah, so that would be through the viral engagement. And so, as I mentioned earlier, once the first degree connections are notified via the in-app notifications as well as notifications, those viral actions would also allow second and third degree connections to see the content as well.
I see.
Yeah, I've been doing some exploration on LinkedIn to try and figure out who is going live, and I've had no trouble finding people that do have access to the live streams. I was spoken them out for these interviews here. So that was a lot of fun to see kind of the applications that we're seeing so far.
I think people are seeing, I'm seeing huge opportunities because it's the second and third degree connections. Not only do you want to connect with them on LinkedIn, but you want to engage with them live. You have the ability to say their name, possibly hint at how you might be able to work together. So let me ask you guys, just anyone can ask this, how would you guys see, from what we've learned here, really using the platform? It sounds like engagement is key. Yeah. And you've got your first degree connections, you want them to engage because then their connections are more likely to be notified. So it seems like engagement's going to be key here, and building a community of connected professional individuals is kind of the core of it. How would you see businesses, maybe even like yourself, using it?
So here's the thing, everybody in this industry uses the term engagement, but what does that mean? So hopefully LinkedIn's going to give us the ability to actually see how people are engaged. Metrics is going to be crucial for this, which obviously when you're thinking about is we actually want to see what's being consumed by whom, when. So one of the things with LinkedIn is everyone says, oh, I've got 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 connections. Okay, but you're not engaged with them. You don't know who's reading your stuff. You can see who likes. With video, because it's so engaging, we really need the metrics as a user who's going to use it and apply it of who am I really reaching. and what is the end result. If you're talking business, they have to measure it with a KPI that says, okay, I saw X amount of people watched my video, did they buy a product? Did they click through? Did they buy a ticket to a streaming event or a show, NAB show? So metrics for me is going to be everything, and it's going to make or break for me using the platform, because I can't spend the time and the effort and the money to produce video for any platform if I don't know what I'm getting back in return. So for me, metrics is everything.
Can you talk about any of the ideas there, or is that something?
Around metrics? For metrics, currently we offer concurrent viewer counts. We also offer visibility into engagement such as social engagement such as likes, comments, and shares. And one of the best things that you can get on LinkedIn that you don't get elsewhere is really in an aggregate view, how the demographics of the folks that are engaging with your content. So you can actually see the types of seniority levels, the types of the types of job titles, as well as industries that are engaging with that content as well.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, any business would love that type of information. And really, I think LinkedIn is really one of the only social platforms that has that information at scale. So that's really going to be incredible. Is there anything else that we'd like to add? Because I have a ton of questions. I don't want to eat up.
I know, I could go all day. Basically, I don't know if you want to do some closing remarks about the future of LinkedIn Live yourself, Jessica. Any new secrets you'd like to share, if at all possible?
New secrets, there you go. Secrets are
no
coming.
No secrets to share. If I told you, I'd have to kill you. But,
can you talk quality?
But in terms of quality?
So quality of the stream. So a lot of people do LinkedIn obviously on mobile. So how much of this live video do you think is going to be consumed on a mobile platform versus a larger screen, and what the quality will be there?
I think we'll continuously invest in quality from a mobile consumption versus a desktop consumption. In general, mobile usage on LinkedIn is higher than desktop usage.
Right.
And
Makes
so
sense.
we likely will continue to see a lot of this consumption via the mobile app, and we'll continue to invest in both internal resources as well as work with external parties to ensure that our quality remains very up to par.
With solutions like Social Live, are you able to produce like a high quality stream with overlays and graphics and send that to LinkedIn Live?
Yeah, with Social Live, we have built a web-based studio, which allows you to bring in multiple broadcasters, integrate media, on-screen graphics, interactive units. We also have a mobile app, though, that you can use in combination with that, or solo to go live, and you can host broadcasts from the phone soon as well.
So you've really got the whole
mobile aspect.
aspect.
I mean, we see the future as like everyone's going to be a content creator, and I appreciate Dan's point that keeping it limited, I actually think has been really smart to kind of see how it goes. But communities form in all different ways, and I think the ability to create content and scale and distribute on LinkedIn is super exciting for community building.
Excellent.
Can we learn a little bit about the timeline? Obviously, it's available
He
now.
wants it. He wants it.
When are we going? You got to realize everyone's got to be asking this question. When are we going to get access to this? Is there some type of timeline?
So right now, LinkedIn Live is in its early pilot phase,
right.
And so it is by invite only. Mm-hmm. As mentioned earlier, we will be, in the next couple of weeks, we will be releasing a Help Center article with an application for both companies as well as individuals to apply to get access to LinkedIn Live.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. This is LinkedIn Live, probably one of the most exciting live streaming platforms for businesses today. We've learned a lot. It's going to be about engagement. It's going to be about connections. It's going to be about community. And we've talked to some experts who've really given us some good thoughts about how we can all benefit from this type of technology. I know from learning what Tess taught me when we first started Facebook Live. We started doing it right away, and we had an amazing success, transformed our business. Yeah. I really hope that LinkedIn will do it, and I think that it will, especially in the business aspect. So I think a lot of people are really excited. I know we are.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. It's been a wonderful panel. Again, we are NAB Show Live, brought to you by Broadcast Beat. We've got some exciting interviews coming up, I believe, with Dr. Andrew Cross of NewTek.
That's right.
We'll see you soon.
Don't miss that. Dr. Andrew Cross of NewTek is going to be talking about NDI 4.0 coming up at just 4 o'clock. So wait about 10 minutes here, and you're going to get a great interview with one of the most industry standard IP connectivity options on the market. Really great company, NewTek. So stick around for that one. Announcements were just last night, the big announcements.
Crazy stuff. All right, guys. That's it for now.
This hour sponsored by Ruptly, the video news agency.